my nephew remain in his own rooms and not compel me to follow him about like this.
You did telegraph to say you weren't coming.
I know, my dear.
And then you changed your mind.
Yes, for about the first time in my life.
And why?
Some vague desire to see him without his knowing. Knock again, dear. Yes.
You know, the porter said they might all be in the garden. I could roam about these old places all day. Such a beautiful.
Dream away, Ella. I shall wait until somebody comes.
Oh, but to be among these leafy shades, the ancient spires and the sculpted nooks. Why, it's like silent music, as scholar to fairyland.
Yes, but to one poor sublunary being, not quite so young as she used to be, a little fatiguing.
Oh, but how lovely it must all be by moonlight. And the shadows have no sudden fears, but many folds in an azure sleep, and oh, all is peace. And silver bells, well, they chime to the sentinel angel of the night, who smiles to heaven and whispers back, all's well, sweet bells, all's well.
You fanciful little woman. What has put all this about angels and so forth into your head today? Oh, I don't know. I think I can trace back all the little byways and slyways that generally lead in one direction.
No, it's just all so sweet here.
So it was there, by moonlight, seen from the bridge of a certain yacht, the rippling sea, the blue night, the brilliant stars. You see how I remember your words? And a certain someone that told you as you listened to the chimes of the ship's bell that you looked like the angel of the watch. He was a flattering-tongued person, that someone. What was his name again?
I've told you so many times.
Lord Fancourt Baverley. But I don't want your mind fixed on these things, my dear.
Yes.
Why, I'd always forgotten to tell you. I've invested your father's money for you, and thanks to his forethought for his little girl, he has rendered you independent for life. And what is worse, independent of me.
Goodness, independent!
But you won't be, will you, my dear?
No.
For I've grown to love the little orphan girl. I have been in such distress in a strange land so much that I am not independent of her. So let us make a bargain. Put that dreadful evidence of my dependence aside and let it grow. Be my little girl and call me Auntie, will you?
Yes, Auntie, yes.
How did your father come to have so large a sum of money like it like that? I thought he'd lost it all.
Oh, well, Papa wanted at cards.
Why is it cards? When?
Well, during his illness.
From whom?
Well, from Lord Fancourt Baverley.
Is Lord Baverley a gambler too?
Oh, no, heavens no.
Oh.
Auntie, if ever we were to meet again, may I give it back?
I don't think he'd take it, my dear.
But why not?
Well, it seems to me he took too much trouble to lose it. But I'm not going to speak for him. I don't want you ever to leave me. Oh, my dear, you set me thinking now.
Oh, what about?
All about someone. Oh, goodness, please tell me. It was before I went abroad to Brazil. I was very young, and he was very shy. He never called me the angel of the watch, but he did get as far as a stammering compliment and a blush. And then he was sent off with his regiment. Without ever.
Oh, Auntie.
It was at a dance the evening before he went away.
Goodness, and you've never loved anyone since.
I was a sentimental young lady in those days.
What was his name, Auntie?
Frank Chesney.
Strange, isn't he? Yes.
Oh, I'm afraid we are intruding.
No, not at all. The college grounds are open to everyone. I am at home, so to speak, purely because these are my son's rooms.
Mr.
Chesney.
And you, pardon my asking, but are you, or rather were you, Lieutenant Frank Chesney?
I was.
You don't remember me?
I acknowledge with regret. I have no recollection.
It must be 20 years ago at least.
20 years?
Oh, he doesn't remember me.
20 years is a long time, Auntie.
Where was the regiment then, I wonder?
Beverly Smythe, everybody's card but my own. Auntie, then you've forgotten the day you first embarked for India?
No.
But you've forgotten the evening before?
Not entirely.
Then
course.
No?
No, because you never knew, but by George, that night I nearly made you in a vow that... and we've never met all this time. 20 years, we'll say, eh?
I'm afraid so.
I remember the dance perfectly. You were in white, tied up in blue.
Tied in blue, like a chocolate box.
You must see my son. He's a splendid fellow. These are his rooms. Or rather, he's led them to a young fellow by the name of Wickham.
Oh, yes, Wickham.
Yes, he's entertaining some young ladies. 2 young ladies. And his aunt.
His aunt?
Yes, a lady from Brazil.
From Brazil?
Yes, Donna Lucia D'Albadores. Do you know her?
I've heard of her. Should I stay and see this out or return?
May I trouble you?
Oh, yes, certainly.
This is Beverly Smythe. I'll go to the garden and find Donna Lucia and the boys. Or perhaps you might like to come into the garden too.
Yes, with pleasure. I'm very curious to see them. My niece, Miss Delahaye. Colonel?
That's Sir Francis.
Come there.
Ah, Jack. If that had been Donna Lucia, things might have been very different.